Hey guys, so Lopera will be dropping to the global version in about 4 days, 3 to 4 days. So this video will talk about her kit and her rotation and basically should you pull for her. So first of all, let's talk about her ultimate. Her ultimate is an array. Okay, she will create a special array known as Crucible Arsenal. So please be aware that in terms of array, you can only have one up at one time. So other characters that we have now that also cast an array is Tuesday, Semmelweis, and Gutian. So if you put them in the party together, they will override each other's array and it will not be effective. So don't put them in the same team. And for Lopera's case, her array will give crit rate plus 40%. That's a big number. And when triggering bullet does not deplete, leaving at least one stack. So any character that has bullet, which at this moment not a lot, if they have bullet, like every time they trigger something and they use up the bullet, then the bullet is gone. But now if they have it and they trigger it, it will not deplete. Okay, it will remain at one stack. So this also, if you bring her to like a series of dust, then you get the the artifact that provide bullets. The bullets will also not deplete, right? As long as her array is up. And on top of that, her array also gives the ability to the units to convert excess crit rate to crit damage at 40% rate, and for every type of bullet, this conversion rate increased to 10%, up to 5 times. So Lopera herself has 3 kinds of bullets. One on herself, which is flaming bullet, then she provide one which is for incantation might, and one is for ultimate might. But I'm not exactly sure if this Crucible Arsenal refers to all the bullets in the team, or rather that person that's attacking, they just refer to the bullet on that character itself. So I'm not sure about that, but if it's for the team, then naturally with Lopera in the team, so it's 40% plus 30% because there will be 3 type of bullets. So overall 70% conversion. So this is specifically useful for a character that has very high crit but has no mechanics to convert them to crit damage. So for example, Lucy. So pairing Lopera with Lucy is actually a very good thing to do. You will be able to increase Lucy's damage further as long as Lopera is in the party. So this is her ultimate. Next, her skill 1 double backup is an attack, okay, incantation. And if Lopera has this flaming bullet, she distributes it to the party, right? In front will get incantation bullet, behind will get ritual. So if there's like 3 units in the party, she will convert them and then distribute. So the number of bullets will deplete according to how many she distributed. Okay, so do be careful, do not like use it without the ultimate up, because she might over distributes and then she have no bullets left and you have to use S2 in order to replenish the bullets. Flaming bullets will allow Lopera to inflict burn onto the enemy. And incantation bullet basically increases the incantation might of the units by 25%. And ritual bullets increase ultimate might by 25%. So the character to her front will receive ritual. Will receive incantation might, while the one behind her will receive ritual bullets. So it's important where you want to position her when you form your party, because it does matter. Like if you are using Lucy, Anjonala, which does a lot of follow-up attack, and all of those are considered as incantation, you want them to be in front of Lopera. Whereby if you use characters that deal more damage with ultimates, then you want to put them behind Lopera. For her ranks, it doesn't really matter if it's rank 1, 2, or 3. You probably want to use it. If it's just rank 1, there's no need to try to increase it, because it just increases damage. But Lopera's role in the party is more of a support, and in terms of the mechanics, even rank 1 does the same thing as rank 2 or rank 3. Now her S2, which is a channel skill, and she enters this channel status and she gains 5 stack of flaming bullets. So now if you use S1 after you use S2, she's going to distribute these flaming bullets. So that is where I mentioned, do be careful if her array is not up, her ultimate is not up, you might over distribute and then you have to use S2 again. And for support, you need to be using so many incantation is kind of like a waste. You want to use your AP or the incantation of your main DPS, not the support unit. So Lopera then enters this ready to shoot status. And at the end of the round, while she is in this status, she will trigger an attack, Bullseye, which does damage, and on top of that, it grants the ally right on target buff. And this right on target buff increases their crit damage based on 10% of Lopera's crit damage. So if you are working on her resonance, you want to have as much crit damage as possible. So your ally will get more crit damage. And on top of that, it's not mentioned here, but it's actually due to her insight. When she triggers Bullseye, she also gets +1 Moxie. This makes her very AP friendly. She doesn't really need much action, but she can keep providing all the stats, right? And in fact, if the enemy has like 20 burn stacks, then she can provide even higher crit damage. And according to this information here, right on target crit damage increased by 10%, and if you have 20 burn stack, the effect increases by 100. So is it 110%? Or it actually increased to 100%. So I'm not really sure on what this statement is, but which means if you put her with characters like Spadodia, Isolde, or Jay, then she will be granting a lot of crit damage to the entire party. So her insight 1, when trigger bullet, she get +1 Moxie, and she also heals the ally with the lowest HP percentage based on 50% of lost HP. So this is probably secondary to her kit. Her main kit is still as a support buffer, but she does have some healing, which is good. So depending on fight, and if you bring like some character with some form of reducing enemies damage or increasing defense, then this may be sufficient, right? That she can serve as the healer for your team. But that is something that I still will try out, how good her healing actually is. And lastly, for Insight 2, increased crit damage, which is good because she converts, or basically she gave crit damage to the party based on her own. Then Insight 3, she gains additional Moxie for every other allied beast, spirit, or intellect character, and up to maximum of 2. So she can start with 3 Moxies, and you just need 2 more Moxies in order to get her ultimate. I usually don't talk about Psychube that much, but for Lopera's, I do want to highlight that her Psychube is actually really interesting because she grants the allies stats, right? So when the carrier attacks and triggers a bullet effect, which is herself, the carrier gain crit damage. So it seems like it's good for her, but remember, she converts the crit damage. I mean, she basically pass some of this crit damage to the other units. So this crit damage actually helps to boost the party's damage. And then on top of that, she also provide ultimate might or ritual might and incantation might to the party, so making them hit even harder. So I'm not sure if I will to increase this to A5 because I think it's really useful, not only just for herself, like other character that has an array like Gutian or Semmelweis, they might be able to use her Psychube as well. Especially if those characters are taking more of a support role and it's not really there to do much damage anyway. For her Portray, I suggest there's no need to get multiple copy of her. Let's look from behind. So let's start with Portray 5. Double backup reality damage increase Okay, and then Incantation Might and Ritual Might increase by 10%, which is 35 instead of 25. So it's just 10%. There's no need to waste all the way to P5 just to get the additional 10%. Then you have Portray 4, relative damage increased to 250%, which is just more damage, and she's not there for damage anyway. She's a support unit, so there is no need for that. Then Portray 3 increase Crucible duration to 4 rounds. So if it's 4 rounds, means she can passively get 4 Moxie. You still have to use 1 incantation to get 5 Moxie. The thing is that if the Crucible Arsenal is 3 rounds, as long as you use her S1, not S2, S1, then you get 2 Moxie and you can already complete her rotation. So there's no need to get her P3, right? Because the rotation will still be the same. You have to use 1 AP to attack to get that 1 Moxie, then you use the ultimate. Without P3, she can do the same thing. So there's no need for P3. So coming down into P2, Winning Chip grants Flaming Bullets to 6, 10, or 15, and right on target crit damage boost increased to 15%. So it was 10% and increased by 100% if the enemy has 20 stacks. So this just increased by 5%. I think it's also not really that necessary. And for Flaming Bullets, like if you really do it right, she's keeping up her rotation correctly, you will also not be losing Flaming Bullet stack. It will always be remain as 1. I will show a video clip on that, but it will always remain as 1. So there's no need for P2. So P1 increased crit rate from 40 to 50%, and when excess crit rate is converted, then the base, which is 40, now increased to 65. So 65 plus 30 due to the top bullet, that's 95% conversion rate. So this one I think is pretty interesting. So if you want, you can just get her P1 at most. But for me, P0 is fine. There is no need to chase copy. Keep your resource for the next unit after that, right? Which is Willow. And Willow is a very good unit. If you do want to play around with the poison team, I do really recommend you to get Willow. So as I mentioned just now, due to her array and how she's distributing all the bullets around, you do want her to be in position 2 or 3. So for example, here you have Lucy, Anjo, Lopera, and Mercuria. So Lucy and Anjo Nala will receive the Incantation Might, while Mercuria will get Ritual Might. And means in the party right now, including her own Flaming Bullet, you have 3 types of bullets, right? So this potentially can increase the crit rate conversion. So now the question is, should you pull or not, right? So here I want you to understand that we should consider on the AP requirement of the specific unit when we are forming a party. So for example, if you have everyone that is really AP incentive, like they have to be using incantation all the time to keep up with the buff, to keep up with the array, to keep up with the force field, the effect, and everything like that, how many incantation can you use in one round? You only can use 4. And if your DPS is going to use 2 of that, then you have another 2, which you can use it maybe for 1 buff. But if you need more than that, then it will be quite a problem in order to manage your incantation. So here I'm comparing Lopera with these 3 other buffers. So if you have those other 3 buffer and you think that you are quite good in terms of your team comp, then it's okay if you do not want to pull for her, because there's so many other units that's coming and they are also very good, fitting very well to the meta, which is the follow-up attack. But to me, Lopera is really good. Look at that. In terms of buff, 40% crit rate, 30% crit damage. If any enemy has 20%, even higher, then 25% out and incantation might. And with the Psychube, even more buff, right? So comparable, Mercuria can provide that form of buff to the entire party. So Mercuria is also quite broken. So I know some of you have been commenting in my YouTube videos that you wish that you have Mercuria. So now that you don't have Mercuria, you can consider to get Lopera, because Lopera can also sit behind the team, not doing anything much, just need 2 AP in 3 rounds. So just need to use once every 2 turns or something. and she will be contributing so much to your team, so much more damage, and yeah, with all the healings and everything as well. And because of her AP friendliness, it is not like you need to put her in a bullet team or in a burn team and only expect her to work in such a team composition. No, you can put her in almost any team, making her a very good unit to have in your roster. Okay, so for Tooth Fairy and Villa, I put them here because I also want to mention in terms of AP, Tooth Fairy actually just does nothing, just sit there and provide creep. She definitely give lesser buff compared to the other buffer that I listed here, but she does nothing, right? She can just stand there and do nothing. So every AP can goes to your damage dealer, so it's very good. And for Villa, the thing is her buff is only for single target, and she need like 4 AP to complete her rotation, whereby Lopera just need 2. So if you are already like using Villa and make a lot of teamwork, do note that now if you have Lopera, it's going to make it easier. Or if you are using Villa and you find it a bit hard to juggle around her buff, her ultimate, and also your DPS doing damage, then you can put Lopera in and you will find everything much easier to manage. So should you pull? Well, for me, I'm definitely pulling because I really like characters that are very versatile because they allow me to do a lot of testing, try out different team, and do more team composition videos. Okay, so in terms of a rotation, so she start with 3 Moxie, assuming that way. Then she used S2 of the battle to give her flaming bullets, and that is 1 Moxie. At the end of the round, because now she has flaming bullet and she's in channeling status, she will do the follow-up attack and she get plus 1 more Moxie, so she get 2 Moxie. The next turn she can use her ultimate. So there's no need to use both of her incantation right at the start. Then once her array is up, right, second turn her array is up, instantly use her S1 and that will distribute the bullets to the party. And now the party will have the incantation might and ultimate might, and she will also get 2 Moxie. Then after that, for the next 2 rounds, you don't have to do anything. When her array ends, she will get her ultimate again. Then you use her ultimate and make sure in between these 3 rounds, use her S1 again in order to get 2 Moxie. Then wait for her array to end, then use her ultimate, and that is her rotation. So this is the video I clip out from Neko Gamers, but I believe this video is from the China site. And here we have Lopera now have 2 Moxie. So she uses incantation 1 Moxie and she trigger her bullet. So now she has 4 Moxies, right? So S1 grant her 2 Moxies. Okay, end of turn she gets 5 Moxie. So now she have 1 bullets left. Her array is also 1. And at the start of the next round, her array will be gone, right? It's gone, but her bullet remains. So now if you just cast back her ultimate, that bullet will not deplete. So there is no need for you to use her S2. But in case I miss out something on her S2 and she actually does need to use it, do let me know in the comment section. This is my initial analysis about her kit because I never used her before, and as usual after I use her kit I will then do another infographic and video regarding the tips to optimize Lopera, and any uncertain things that I have right now will be answered by that. So thank you very much for watching this video.